Spitfire Audio has released yet another installment in their original series, and it's called the Intimate Grand Piano. Hey everyone, my name is Robert Rodriguez, and I am a film and media composer and orchestrator. If you're new here, I want to invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I also want to give you access to my free composer reference guide. It's going to cover the basics of writing for different popular genres of film and television music. So if you are interested in that, check out the link in the description down below. So like I said, Spitfire has released yet another installment of their original series, and this is the Intimate Grand Piano. I'm really excited to check this out. This is the second title, I guess part of their maybe more intimate libraries. The only other originals library that uses intimate is their Intimate Strings, which is a little bit farther down. It's one of their more original libraries. Intimate Strings. But you'll see that they have cinematic soft piano, felt piano, firewood piano, Mrs. Mills piano, jangle box piano, and back to Intimate Grand. So they are no stranger to recording a good piano library, so I'm very excited to see what this has to offer. And let me know in the comments if you would be interested in maybe a comparison between Intimate Grand and maybe one of the others. I also have a few videos out just talking about their strings, the jangle box piano, so make sure you definitely check those videos out as well. So this library comes up at $29, and I just really love that price point. It's really accessible for basically everybody, assuming you have the $29. What's fantastic about Spitfire Audio is that they are really building up a collection of inexpensive libraries. And honestly, these are probably some of my favorite libraries to just go through, review, and show you guys, because I'm a huge believer in making the composition process as easy as possible for everybody, for any brand new composer. I think we're moving away from the days where the best of the best libraries are blocked behind this huge paywall. Now we're getting really decent quality samples at a relatively low cost. So that is why I really love the original series. But let's just take a quick look at just their overall description. It's a versatile, up-close, and personal piano. It says that this could be a good sampled piano for a solo composition, accompaniment, or a larger ensemble. This is a Steinway, and it was recorded in the Castle Sound Studios in Scotland. I want to say this is a first for originals. I feel like usually we see Air Studios for a lot of Spitfire stuff. I think that a new studio is going to give this specific piano a little bit more character, or at least different character than maybe some of the other pianos that they have. So it's going to come with 3 mic signals. It's supposed to be rich. It's supposed to be delicate, offering a wide dynamic range. So it's condenser, ribbon, and binaural. It says providing a true-to-life image of the piano in the room. I wonder if this is supposed to be like a hyper-realistic kind of piano. We'll see. So it comes with 7 presets and 4 controls, and the overall size is around 4 gigs, which is not bad at all. So the key features are 8 presets. Okay, so there's a little bit of discrepancy there. We either get 7 or 8, we don't know. We see the mics that we were offered, 4 controls, 3 round robins, and 3 dynamic layers. That's gonna be interesting because 3 round robins is actually really great for something at $29, but 3 dynamic layers is basically soft, medium, and loud, right? So I don't know exactly if that's gonna sound realistic, but that's just off the paper. We'll have to see when we actually play. So I guess it is actually 8 presets: direct, intimate, broad, reverberant, ribbons, ambient, soft drama, subdued, and dynamic. Our controls are reverb, tightness, hammers, and pedals. 3 signals like we went over, and all right, that's a quick overview of the Intimate Grand Piano. Let's dive into the actual thing. All right, so I loaded up a new Logic session and I pulled up the originals Intimate Grand Piano, which will be down here. And if you're familiar with any of the originals that Spitfire offers, This layout is basically identical to all of the others. I've said this before, and it's just maybe a personal thing, but I really, really wish that this was laid out just a little different. I feel like we're wasting a lot of valuable space on either side. I get it, it's meant to look clean and not cluttered up with a whole bunch of faders and knobs, but when I make it smaller, it just doesn't look right, because now it's much harder to view. It automatically loads in like at this size. I always said maybe bring this over here, maybe bring this up top and these four underneath, but that's a personal preference, nothing major. All right, so let's just take a listen to what we get right out of the box. And this is going to start off with Intimate Grand Piano Intimate. And I am not a piano player, but bear with me. Ooh. You really hear the spring in the pedal. Maybe a little too much. I don't want to mess with it too much right now because this is just the default, so we'll let it be, but you really hear it. Okay. The ribbon mic is about 70%. This is about 50%. And the binaural signal is off. Reverb is off. Tightness is about 40. Hammer is all the way up. Okay. All right. That is a really soft, for lack of a better word, intimate sound. It really feels like you're at a grand piano. Let's keep playing. Let's bring in binaural. Okay, so that brings in a little bit more clarity, I feel like. It does say that it's supposed to provide a realistic image. I almost would prefer that we had this signal maybe more throughout. It's really great that you can add that layer of realism to what you're playing. And we can hear the three dynamic layers, just kind of soft, the kind of middle layer, and the louder dynamic layer. And then the mod wheel, typically on an instrument like this, by raising the mod wheel, I think it's going to restrict the dynamic layers, but let's see. Yep. I'm touching it very softly, and that's what we get, and then I hit it very hard. Same thing. Okay. So really, if you want it to be as realistic as possible, or at least in terms of how hard you're hitting the keys, then maybe keep it on the low end to no modulation. So that is the Intimate preset, which is interesting that it's not right on top. But anyway, let's go to direct. The ribbon is all the way down. The condenser is the only signal up. And then the sound of the pedal is off this time. So that's interesting. Yeah, so you don't get anything when you press that. So let's just check that out. So I think direct really just sounds like a straight up grand piano. It really takes away any sound, any extra little clink here and there that you might get. So that's kind of why I guess the pedals all the way off, hammers are off. It's a very just straightforward, direct sound. And I honestly think it's a really gorgeous kind of sound. Let's see, let's move on. We saw intimate, soft drama. Pedal is up, hammers up. This introduces all three signals. Reverb is about halfway. So I guess this is supposed to be dramatic, suspenseful. Let's see. All right, so we definitely hear, this is very different from direct because we can hear the little imperfections of playing the piano. I said this with intimate, but I'm really loving this mic signal. It really does create the sense of realism. If we were to turn this off, yeah. Let's move on to Subdued. I'm assuming Subdued is going to be similar to intimate in a way that they're restricting the sound. It's just going to be a little bit tighter, you know? But let's see. All right, so that's an interesting sound because when I play it wasn't like the range of the sound that was subdued, it was the actual like velocity that was subdued. So no matter how hard I hit, it feels subdued. Why is that? The upper dynamic layer has been removed to remove brightness from the piano. Okay, so that makes sense. Subdued obviously falls into this subcategory of intimate because it really does give it an intimate sound. Let's move on over to Reverberant ribbons. Okay, so reverb is about halfway. We're gonna get some hammers and pedals. It takes away the condenser mic, but we have the other two. So let's take a listen. So this one is definitely just designed to really give you that reverb right off the bat. You're not tweaking any knobs. You're just given a reverb patch. What would it be like if we added the condenser signal? Yeah, so that condenser really gives it much more of a presence, I think. Let's move on to ambient. So reverb is going to be the highest that we've seen it. We only have this one binaural signal. I'm interested in seeing what it sounds like without the ribbon and condenser, so let's take a listen. So Ambient really feels like there's something blocking me off from the sound. It almost feels like a blur. Like it does not seem like a crystal clear sound, which is fine. It's meant to be ambient, but that's also very interesting because the only signal we're using is this binaural signal, which, if we look at the description, it's providing a realistic image as if you were sat at the piano. I don't feel like I'm sitting at the piano when I hear this particular preset. Like, it almost feels glossed over. So it's interesting that this is the sound that we get. It could be that it's the reverb that's really pushing it back. If we were to turn this all the way off, yeah, so that definitely feels much, I guess, clearer in comparison. All right, dynamic, and then I think that might be it, but dynamic is really going to be your condenser pedal, and hammer is about halfway. So let's hear that. I think out of all of these, dynamic is definitely one of my favorites because it's really giving you access to the 3 different layers of the dynamics. You get a crystal clear image of almost each layer. Yeah, really, every key that I hit almost feels like it has a life of its own. And I think you really notice it in the upper range of the piano. On the lower end, you hear a liveliness as well. But even down here, it has like this punch to it that I really love. And then middle range. That forte dynamic, you really hear it. But yeah, this one I think is definitely a favorite, and I would love to just hear a little bit more realism. Let's see what that sounds like. I said this earlier on, but I think this one signal is what's giving this entire library its definition. All right, so we covered all 8 presets of the Intimate Grand Piano. Hopefully you got a nice sense of how each one sounds in terms of dynamic layers, in terms of the default faders and knobs. I want to say that this could be a contender for a go-to piano library. And I say this for people that are new to composing, a beginner in this field, or anyone on a limited budget. $29 is a wonderful entry point for most people to start composing. The thing is, you want to look out for quality samples. I think we get that for the most part with the Intimate Grand Piano. I do think that the Intimate Grand gets its character and definition from this one mic signal, the binaural mic signal. It's designed to place you in front of an actual grand piano. Like, I love that we have access to how much of this one signal we want, but I think that's the key to why I would want to use this library in the future. In terms of if you need this library, is this the one to get as your go-to library? I do think it's an option, but I don't know if you are going to be missing out if you were to try maybe some of their other piano libraries as well. Again, let me know in the comments if you would like a specific comparison. Maybe that could be another video so we have something to compare it to. I think that this is a wonderful, wonderful inexpensive, quality sounding library to add to your collection. I don't know if it's the end all be all of pianos. I'm sure that there are others out there that sound similar or at least can get the job done for you. But the one thing that sold me, and I hope I can convey this well enough for anyone on the other side looking to purchase this kind of piano or just their very first piano, this binaural signal, I said it throughout the video, is the key that gives this library its definition. Anything that makes me feel like I'm actually sitting in front of a grand piano and not just my computer, I think that's what's gonna transform this sample library into something a little bit more, you know? Definitely check out some of my other Spitfire audio review videos. I've done quite a few originals, some of their labs, some of their other paid products, and let me know what other originals library you would like me to cover if there is a specific piano library you're interested in. So that's gonna be it from me. If you did get value out of today's video, definitely consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you are interested in that free composer reference guide, I left a link for it in the description down below. And of course, you can support the channel by checking out my Patreon page or just by simply buying me a coffee. The links for those are in the description as well. All right, so I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, happy composing.